Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is John. I'm doing another interview, and I'm here with Scotty, and he'll be talking about his 1940 Ford truck. And here we have Scotty.
Hey, how's everybody doing there? Just want to let you know a little bit about the 1944 truck, really kind of give you a little bit of a history. After the introduction of the Model T back in 1908, coach builders began to adopt it for commercial purposes, adding stacked beds and enclosed bodies to carry cargo. Seeing opportunity, Ford began offering the Model T as a rolling chassis, some of which included strengthened frames and wheelbases longer than the T's 100 inches. By 1914, third-party suppliers were building heavily modified versions of the Model T chassis capable of hauling up to 3 tons of cargo. The company began to receive more requests to build a heavy-duty platform of its own, but Henry Ford found himself distracted by several projects, including the development of Fordson tractors and a December 1915 trip to Europe to negotiate an end to the First World War. His efforts in the war were unsuccessful, as we all know. In 1916, Ford sent a letter to its dealers network advising them that conversions of Model T chassis for heavy-duty purposes were prohibited, citing safety reasons. While this may have been a valid excuse, Ford itself was in the process of developing a one-ton truck chassis in order to eliminate the competition prior to its launch. Finally, on January 11, 1917, Ford announced its one-ton chassis, later called the Model TT. The new Model TT went on sale on July 27, 1917 for $800. Can you imagine that? Which was more than the 325 Model T chassis. The 1940 truck was updated in that year as a half-ton truck, which took on a car styling for the first time in almost 10 years. Ford also produced its 20 millionth vehicle in 1940. For 1940, half-ton pickup trucks adopted the look of that year's standard series cars, the first time since 1932 that shared car styling. This included a V grille, pointed hood, and headlights mounted into the fenders, giving these haulers a modern, classy look. Power continued to come from a choice of 2 flathead V8 engines and a 136 cubic inch 60 horsepower unit, or a 221 CID 85 horsepower version. The Ford line of trucks was updated in 1937 with one major change: the introduction of an entry-level 136 CID, a 2.2 liter V8, in addition to the popular 221 CID 3.6 liter flathead V8. The model was a refresh of its predecessor, the Model 48, itself based on the Model 40A, and was the company's main product. A high flat-top Ford hood dominated the front look of the 1940 model as the grille spread out to reach the fenders to differentiate the deluxe line, and the headlights were pushed wider still. The standard Ford inherited the grille of the 1939 model with blackouts on each side of the heavy chrome center. Heavier headlight surrounds served as another major differential for 1939. 1940 was the last year of the 1937 design, and its smaller V8 engine, a straight 6 engine, to be reintroduced the following year. The 1937-1940 generation of Ford is one of the most popular automobiles for hot rodding. Early stock car racing drivers also used Fords of this generation among other cars. This Ford also formed the basis for a style of dirt track racing cars. If you're the kind of person to look at cornfields wistfully, we found the truck for you. Ford has produced many iconic truck designs throughout its history. One of them, the 1937 design, deserves special attention. It's a classic piece of Americana, and restored examples like this one seem to be pulled straight out of agricultural pairing. The truck is a 1940, the last of the 1937 designs. You can almost picture the backdrop of a red barn, some pink pigs in the crates in the bed, a honey dog in the passenger seat, and chickens milling around about in the foreground, pecking and scratching at the ground for worms. Owning a restored Ford pickup truck like this is akin to owning shares in a fantasy. Every trip is an adventure. Dropping off some cardboard at the recycling bin in the church parking lot, maybe a stop at the track supply on the way back with some lawn fertilizer, chicken feed, and even if you don't own any chickens. Some may dream of a luxury car with the latest amenities, or a low-slung classic sports car, loud and fast. For others, something like this 1940 Ford pickup is the mountaintop. The truck is just a basic, honest work truck with no more or less than the average working man needed back in 1940. In this day and age, its beauty lies in that specialty, of course, the natural, beautiful fenders, grille, and headlights of 1937 to 1944 trucks too. production, less than 2 years after this truck was produced, it's fair to assume these trucks saw more use than most, as they simply had to stay in service and couldn't be as easily replaced. As we stare wistfully out the window of our cubicle farms, we're thankful that someone has made the effort to preserve this one for us.
Okay, so that was a great introduction about the truck. So can you talk a little bit more about this truck and car shows?
Yes, I sure can. This truck has been a real winner for car shows. One of the things that you'll find about this truck is that the engine in this truck is really a standout at most car shows. Let me take a minute to show this to you. This motor, as you can see, is an LT1 motor. It puts out a little over 400 horses. Great engine, smooth driving. This truck, the interior of the truck is great. It has a Aussie skin leather interior, chrome, gold trim, chrome accessories. It's overly modern with AC. Also, it has Bluetooth radio as well as Bluetooth phone. So it's a great truck. Just going to go to the highway and have fun at the car show.
Can we take a look at the interior, Scotty?
We sure will.
All right.
See here, like I said, the interior of this truck has a chrome steering column, leather wrapped steering wheel, gold trim gauges for just about anything you'll need, Bluetooth radio, Bluetooth phone, Aussie skin and leather seats with other chrome accessories as well as AC and heating.
And how many miles do you have on the truck?
Right now, this motor only has a little over 500 miles. This motor was completely rebuilt for this vehicle.
And so can you tell a little story? How did you come about this truck? And you're also involved in car shows, aren't you, Scotty?
Right. I try and do about 30 car shows a year, anything from Houston back to San Antonio and in between. The good part about this is that this truck, I actually saw it at a Harley Davidson car show, and the individual that had this truck was actually selling it. And I said that if I did not win the truck that he actually had up for raffling off, that I was going to buy this truck. And I ended up buying this truck, and I've been extremely happy with it. I really kind of brought it back. It was really rough, you know, a lot of rust, things this and everything, but I managed to really bring it back with a little TLC.
And when you got this truck, this is the original color, right?
Yes, this is the original color of the truck. This is actually a Corvette yellow, and it's actually pinstriped and red accents all around the truck. You can actually see, if you look back here at the back, it actually has the Ford logo on the back of the truck here.
And you didn't do anything really too much to the vehicle. You pretty much basically bought the vehicle as is, right?
Right.
Did you do anything with the truck at all? I mean, it's the original color, is that correct?
Yes, it's the original color, that Corvette yellow.
And so, you know, you said that you were involved in a lot of car shows. Can you show us some of the awards that you got for the car?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Take a look here. These are just a few of the trophies that have been won for this vehicle.
Are these all here in San Antonio?
These are all here in San Antonio, and these are all this year. When I say this year, I'm actually talking 2022.
So at the car shows, your truck is very popular then. Yes. I would say, with all these awards that you got.
Yes, it is. It's a great truck to have, a great truck to show it, and especially with these are just some of the plaques here. Especially with some of the children, they love it.
And how many car shows do you average during a year? 10, 20?
I normally do anywhere between 20 and 30 car shows a year.
Oh, okay. Right. So you've been involved in car shows even before this car. You've had some other cars, is that right?
Right. I've had everything from a 1923 Ford T-Bucket all the way through, but there's some odd reason the 30s tend to be the ones I like because they're the fat fender type cars. So I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun with those type cars, and I've kept some of them, like this one right here, and the 1969 Camaro. And I've also sold a few. I've had a 1930 Houston, 1933 to Europe, and 1930 they went to Washington State. So I've had them all over.
And so you also have another vehicle besides this as well, right? You have a
Yes,
Camaro, you said?
69 Camaro that has a LS2 motor in it, and it does quite well. It shows. I was just down in Houston and took best in show down in Houston there.
Well, hopefully sometime maybe Scotty will give us another interview with that car. Hey, and this has been a great interview. Hey, thanks a lot, Scotty, for sharing your car with everybody. And hey, thanks a lot, everybody, for watching this video. And be sure to subscribe, comment, or like if you like this video. And I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.